I myself, and I'm sure lots of you, had to suddenly drop our plans. I was looking forward to seeing my grandchildren, suddenly couldn't go away. I was, you know, really upset and everything. And so that was there. The witch hunt trials was on. The plague came in the 1665 or whatever. And all of this Great Fire of London all burned down, rebuilt and everything. And it was in every country. Something quite massive happened during that century. And I thought, how interesting. We're replaying. And it's obviously because we're supposed to change the ending this time. We're not supposed to just go back to maybe being told to think this or do this or wear this or have this or whatever. So we have to ask ourselves, what bit can we contribute? And often when people say they're a light worker, you know, we think of light workers as healers or readers or whatever. But everyone on this planet right this minute now is here for a reason. We all chose to come back during this really odd timeline to say, okay, my soul can go back to earth right now. What bit can I do? You might be just being nice to the lady in the co-op or something, in the local supermarket. You might be being smiling at somebody who hasn't spoke to anybody else for 6 days. You might just be doing one tiny thing, and it's not necessarily going around being a light worker, dishing out the crystals or whatever, but that ripple that you will send so many ripples. So that one gesture you do could change the rest of that person's day and therefore change their thinking, you know. So we are all playing a part, and we are all collectively connected as well. We do pick up other people's energies quite a lot. So if you are feeling really frazzled emotionally, 1 minute you could wake up and feel great, and the next week you could wake up and feel really like, oh, I've had enough of this now, I can't cope with it, I'm really fuddy headed or whatever. You know, just trying to keep your energy field strong and protected is very important. So I don't know if you do meditation, any of you. If you can, that's really good. If you can't, or you can't concentrate or whatever, you know, just spend even 5 minutes with a colouring pad and the hand you don't write with, and colour with that. Because what that does is it opens up what we call the alpha brain, but it also helps your psychic intuition anyway, and it improves your memory. So a lot of you could have found recently your memory's been affected. And a lot of people, you can find it really hard to recall, what's the name of that person? What was that place we went to? Was it? You could find it really difficult to recall. And part of the reason for that is because we are now in a new timeline. Literally, we had a reset button pressed. So although we're still living in the same house with the same things and the same neighbours or whatever, we are it's slightly different. So all of the old what we call 3D timeline isn't so important anymore. It's not so effective anymore. So those memories, that part of your brain is not being as active as this new opening up sort of psychic part of the brain, or the, you know, the intuition part of the brain. So at the moment you will have confusion with your thoughts, because it's almost like you've got this new, a bit like you're on your computer, you suddenly go from Windows 10 to Windows 12, you know, you're still the same computer, but you've got to learn a whole new system again. So we've got to adapt our thinking process. But if we can try and shut the mind down for a minute and let our higher self come forward and take the reins for a while, you'll find it much easier to know what you need to be doing, how you're going to be doing it. These sort of groups like Sheela and Jackie run, you know, they've done a lot of work in real life, positive thinking groups, where they put a lot of time and effort in to draw people together. So they were preparing the way anyway. And now, obviously, with the help of Zoom, we can all link into each other. And it's very important to try and keep connected with like-minded people right now. But anyway, we're getting a bit of help from the planets in a minute, because the beginning of this year has been quite challenging. But luckily, that sort of, we came to the end of that on the 8th of March. So, you know, there's been a bit of a reshuffle came in around the first week of March, again, planetary. So we're getting a lot of energy from Mars, which can make us feel a bit angry and very motivated to bring changes or whatever. But we're also getting a huge amount of energy from the Pleiades, which is a beautiful star system called the Seven Sisters. And they send a lot of very, 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 very gentle sort of healing energy. So we've got these, like, this is clashing and shouted, this is gentle and healing. So we've got this energy coming in to calm us down. The universe always does that. Whenever we have an intense planetary energy that stirs us up, we have some gentle, it's a bit like a stinging nettle, having a dock leaf next to it to heal the wounds. They always give you something to heal the next day. And so the best way to get the best help out of it is to actually connect with the universal energies. We are made of the same energy as Earth. We have the same, I mean, I'm not a scientist, but we have the same potassium, iron, minerals, phosphates. We have all of that the same. We've been very carbon-based in our bone structure for a very long time. It's all changing now. Our energies are changing, as is Earth's energy. I hope you're all keeping up with me okay. So you're all keeping up with me okay? Yeah. Because I do talk, when I'm on a roll, I get going, sorry. But anyway, so there's been this magnetic energy, there's something called a Schumann resonance. They measure the magnetic spikes on Earth that come from like the sun's energy and things. And it's been going off the scale, literally. Their measuring equipment can't even keep up with it. It's gone that mad recently. So we're getting all these magnetic, huge amount of particles of energy coming in. You can see it yourself when you look at the sun nowadays. When we were children, the sun was like a big yellow ball in the sky. Now it looks like white a lot of the time. It looks silver a lot of the time. You get this huge energy. The sunsets have been amazing recently, and they will continue to get better. The clouds look different nowadays. The clouds look very different. If you look at the clouds, you'll see different formations, but the whole energy is changing because we've got all these particles of light and magnetic energy and everything coming down all the time, every day. So if we just spend even 2 minutes, not even that, 1 minute a day. I mean, I'm one of the busiest people I know, but I managed to make a minute to just tune into the energies every day because it's like a top up. It's like filling yourself up with petrol or something. So if you can get outside, that's even better. But if you literally spend 1 minute, look at the stars, the rain, the sun, whatever's up there that day, breathe it in, bring it through you. So you are literally replenishing every single cell in your body with light. So you're like switching the light on, and then take it all the way down into your feet, and then be very aware of your feet on our beautiful magnetic planet Earth. So you are very aware that your feet are grounding. Try and imagine magnets on the bottom of your feet. Because what's happening, where we've had all this high energy, it's almost like we've got all this electricity around the top part of our heads and bodies and things. Can cause panic, anxiety, overthinking, lack of sleeping, it's causing all this heightened energy. But because it's not being taken through to our physical so much, it's like our physical world is almost like on hold when there's all this other energy going on here. And we just need to balance it through now to get us ready for the next phase, which is very exciting. The next phase, the next 4 months we've got coming up, we've got 4 supermoons in a row. I mean, March is, people are disputing, some scientists, people say it's not, but it's still a really, really big moon, very close to Earth. So I'm calling, we call it a supermoon. But supermoons are when they're slightly nearer to Earth and we feel the effects very much more powerfully. And if we look at what the moon does to the tides, pulling all that energy up, all that water energy, and we remember we're made of water, lots of water in us, especially our brain. When we have these supermoons and things, it pulls this new energy up to our consciousness. So we got 4 in a row. We haven't had one since last May, and even that was a bit hit and miss. So it's been nearly a year that we haven't had this sort of extra boost of energy. So we're going to get it's like a really big enlightenment boost. But each moon, when I was tuning into, I write a monthly newsletter thing. It says about what's coming up next every month and things like that. And my sister's in astrology, she writes the proper astrology, I write the intuitive bit. And when I was doing it intuitively, it was really amazing, the aspects of the planets around it. This month is for very much clearing physical stuff out, fears, worries, stress, all what we've been through the last few months. So in the next couple of weeks, tomorrow we have a new moon. Sorry, I can't read that. Yes, please pop any questions, and then Jackie and Sheela can ask me what I'm waffling on about. So basically, this next couple of weeks, tomorrow we have a new moon, which is new. Good to set new intentions tomorrow. It's the first sort of maybe old-fashioned moon we've had for a long time, where in the old days new moons were always for new intentions, but it's also in the new timeline. So you could, even if you don't know what you want, you could just say tomorrow, you know, send out a wish to the universe, please make it very easy for me to notice the synchronicity in my life, or help me find my soul path, my soul group, my soul mate, or whatever. So tomorrow's a really good day for wishing, really. So Saturday the 13th. But this 28th of this month, but basically the next month, 4 months, on the last week of the month, is very much for clearing. This month is clearing physical fears out. So if you're worried about, I don't know, if you put on a bit of weight, or you're tired, or your muscles hurting, or you know, you have bad back you've had for years or something, just clear it out. This month is like, right, okay, take away any residue of energy I do not need. Next month is more for the emotional clearing. Then it's the mental clearing. And then the last month, in 4 months' time, in June, which works out near the solstice, is very much for the spiritual, you know, enlightenment. So definitely the next 4 months are very good to just clear old energy, using the energy of the universe as well. And when we say clearing, it doesn't have to be great big rituals or anything. It literally can be just go and throw a stone away. So as you're throwing that away into the sea or river, you're throwing your burdens away. Always, if you do throw it away to nature, always give something nice afterwards as a thank you to the universe. Don't just go and dump your rubbish on your neighbour's lawn or something. You would say thank you for taking the rubbish. So when you throw anything to Mother Earth, you always say thank you very much and give her something back as well. I find that more respectful. But so the universe is really going to help us, and all we have to do is connect to it. It's like having the most fantastic light above you, but not putting that switch on. We have to put our light body switch on now. We are special beings of light. We have a soul. We are using this body in this lifetime, but the soul is the bit that is the most important bit. In many timelines, we've had Atlantean timelines where power struggles and governments and things got in the way. The very first timeline that's been recorded is Lemurian timelines. Again, politics started getting in the way, all started going wrong. At the moment, then religion came in, and everyone's religion is each to their own. Whatever gives someone peace is good for them. But I'm just saying, we've been controlled one way or another. We've been controlled many times in different ways. And this time, again, we're really being noticing the control, because we're actually seeing it. They're saying you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that, you got to do that. So it's actually very noticeable in our face that it's controls going on now. So right, we're coming in to change the timeline. We're saying, no, actually, what are we going to do? How are we going to rise up? Who are we going to connect with? One little tiny voice in the wind isn't going to be heard. Lots of voices coming together with positive thinking. And I know it sounds like old rubbish. It's like, oh, you know, yeah, positively think yourself out of that hurricane then, you know, whatever. But if we do, it's been proven time after time after time, the way they've done scientific tests that show the way a person thinks, the atoms in this test box will react how they think. We've had two scientists doing different ways of thinking with the same things. Masara Emoto, which Jackie D did a beautiful thing when he was alive. She had him in England, in our country, in our area where we live, which was amazing to see him. But Masara Emoto is a little Japanese guy, a really special guy, and he recognised we're made of water. You can program water, therefore you can program yourself with positive energy. Needed lots of tests that show if you think negative, the plants and things that Brycey looked at, he sort of shouted at some negative, you know, say he had a plant and shouted at it, the negative plant died, the positive plant blossomed. So how we talk and think, we create. And we all know that. And then we'll all say things like, oh, I was doing my head in, oh, national house falling to pieces, oh, the world's going mad. No, we've got to stop saying it. We've got to try and say, how are we going to get this better? Let's not empower everything that's negative. Let's try and empower what's positive. And if you can't find anything at all to be positive about, if you can't think, oh, I'm thankful I can see, I can walk, I can talk, but we've got to try and send out every day one collective thought. Let's try and make these people that are governmenty people make the right decisions for the highest good for all. all species on the planet, it's not just humans, because if we send out the positive rather than constantly writing about the negative or talking about the negative, if the collective could do that, the power the collective thought has is just phenomenal. So we just got to try and remind ourselves, even if you have to put a phone reminder, be positive. You know, if you're constantly saying, I'm scared, I'm anxious, I'm this, I'm that, well, you're going to be, you know. So as I'm not saying deny your feelings, you can't deny your feelings. If you're feeling anxious, you have to acknowledge it. You have to go in there and have a little chat with your heart chakra and say, I know you're scared, but we're okay, we've got this. You know, if you're feeling, so don't pretend you're positive if you're negative, because that gets trapped in your system and we don't want that. So we're all allowed, we are human, we're not superhumans yet. One day hopefully we will be, these super souls going to all different planets and things, but positive thinking is so important. So is there any questions yet before I'm just going to do a minute meditation with people? No? Okay, so so I'm just, with your permission, I'm just going to do a minute's, not necessarily, it's not meditation, that makes it dramatic. Just a minute breathing technique with you all, if you're okay with that. You know, anyone who doesn't want to join in doesn't have to join in. And obviously, if you suffer with epilepsy or something, you know, obviously maybe it's not to meditate or anything till someone's in the room with you. But it's just a couple of little techniques I use myself that just really, really help to empower your energy field and keep your energy field in a good place. And the other thing you can do, which is very easy to do, if you are feeling stressed or anxious, literally with your palm, just do a spiral. In the center of your palm relates to your solar plexus, your power center. So literally doing a spiral, do a clockwise one to bring in positive, anti-clockwise to release. So if you've got fears or anger, or someone's really wound you up and you can't get it out of your head, or you're feeling hurt by someone, just doing the releasing and saying, I'm releasing those negative trapped emotions. I don't need them. Got enough going on. Take a breath, exhale. You can feel it straight away. If things are doing your head in, if your head's really busy and you're laying in bed and you're starting to get anxious over, did you post that letter or not? You know, little things can become blown out of proportion sometimes when we're in this space. Just massaging the tip of your thumb, that relates to your crown chakra. And it just helps open you up to your higher voice saying, it's okay, you did post it, don't panic. So just massaging that tip of the thumb, 30 seconds, breathe, really makes a difference. So we've got these tools on the end of our arm that we can use to help align our body. And the thymus, which is the higher heart chakra in the chest, just 3 times, tap in there every morning, tap your thymus, boost your immune system, which is always a win-win, but it also opens your higher heart chakra for your psychic intuition. But just tapping your thymus 3 times a day and breathing in really does boost your immune system. If you have been getting anxious about things or whatever as well, the wedding ring fingertip holds our immune system there as well. So just massaging there about 30 times a day for a few seconds at a time just tops up the immunity. If you feel run down, feel you're getting a cold, just boost there, just really boost your white cells. So we're just going to do this little breathing thing. Ah, that's good. Yeah, it's the stuff we know. What I'm saying here, you all know. You all know, you've all read the books, you've all done the things, you've all done your Reikis, all your massages, all your chakra balance, you all know. We just have to remind ourselves. And as I say, it can be helpful to actually put it on your phone as a reminder. You know, if you do find you tend to go into a certain 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if you go into a lull, because at the moment, sort of 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 3, 4 o'clock in the morning seems to be very strong times when we're getting like downloads of energy coming in. So you may find around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're suddenly exhausted, or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you suddenly wake up and can't sleep. Because we're getting these new energy particles coming in. My cat's helping me today, bless her. So sorry if you can hear my cat there, but I can't put her out because she'll be upset. So basically, we're going to just do this breathing thing for a minute. It can be helpful if you put your hands together like like you're praying sort of thing. And then just push them out like that, but just over your belly button area, just like over your belly button area. So you've got your hands together and then you put them out like that sort of thing, just for a second. As comfortably as you can. Try and put your shoulders back as comfortably as you can. Don't hurt yourself if you've got sore shoulders. But imagine they're on strings to the universe, so your being is in alignment. The idea is to have your heart chakra open and your spine ready to receive this new sort of coding that we're getting at the moment. So we start by just breathing. Just close your eyes. Make sure both feet are on the floor with not your ankles crossed. You know, you have ankles uncrossed, both feet on the floor. And then if you just close your eyes for a minute, and then if you just breathe, take a breath in as comfortably as you can. Take it into your tummy if you can. And exhale. And then again, breathe in. And exhale. And then if you can close your eyes for a minute, and just for a second, focus on the point where your eyebrows would meet. So you still got your eyes shut, but you're sort of looking at where the eyebrows would meet. And if you can, I want you to try and visualize, if you can, a night sky. If you can, imagine the stars and the moon or the sun. If you can't see this night sky, try and see the blue sky. But you're looking at the sky. And I want you to imagine that as you're looking at those stars or the moon, I want you to try and see one of them is sending out a beautiful orb of light. One of those stars is sending out a beautiful orb of light. And that light is moving closer and closer and closer and closer towards you. And suddenly this orb explodes like a firework in the sky. You've got all this glittery, shimmering gold and silver and white and blue and turquoise glitter washing down, washing over you, washing away all your hurt, pain, stress, fear. And I want you to breathe in that glittery light and visualize every single cell and tissue and sinew in your body is being flooded with liquid light. Every cell in your body. It's like your chakras are like little tiny cereal bowls filling with liquid light. Every bone, every muscle, every tissue, every sinew, but especially your spine. You are very aware at the back of the neck and the back of the spine. Every single particle in your body and your spine, you are aware of this big layer of light just going down all the way down your spine, all the way down into the floor. So it's like you've got a beam of light literally holding your neck up, your shoulders up. You've got this, it's going down your spine, and every single cell in your spine, every vertebrae, every tissue, everything is filling with light. It's like all these barcodes. It's like you've got a great big bluey white barcode just come on down the back of your neck and shoulder. And then one last time, I want you to just focus where your hands are over your belly button. It's almost like you can see, it's like when you switch on an electrical item and it lights up. I want you to just see there's a pyramid of orange light there. And it's a bit like an orange traffic light suddenly lighting up. So this triangle of light in front of your belly button is suddenly just lit up. And that's connecting you to what's called your hara line or prana line. And then make sure both feet are on the floor. With your actual fingers, I want you to just draw a pyramid over your third eye in the center of your forehead. Just draw the shape of a pyramid with your finger and then open your eyes. So that was actually much deeper than I intended it to be. So obviously the people on this group must be quite open to the spiritual and must be sort of quite far down their path anyway, because I don't normally do the barcode of light unless I'm actually helping someone activate themselves. So ultimately just visualizing light, breathing in like orbs of light coming from the sun, the stars, the moon, and visualizing that washing away all the worries and cares and stresses. And every day, visualize a little cloak around your shoulders, cloak of protection, either made of the sun and the moon, or the stars, or the clouds, or the blue sky, or whatever, but you're just wrapping yourself in universal love, or angel wing cloak is always very helpful as well. So imagine every day you're having a cloak of beautiful white feathers put around you, or a cloak of universal energy. So you are being constantly held by the universe to help you. So if you know people are suffering, if you know your friends got anxiety, if you know people who are struggling, just visualize the guides placing a beautiful cloak of healing light around them. Visualization has such a powerful effect, more so these days than ever before, because we are now resonating at this higher frequency, and therefore what we think is going to come to us 10 times quicker. So is there any questions? Nope.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I've got a question. You know, you were doing the spirals in the palm of the hand. Does it matter which hand you use?
Both.
Both hands. Okay.
In both hands, yeah. The spiral in both hands. Just 2 seconds on both hands, so it balances the left, right side of your solar plexus.
Fantastic. Anybody got any questions? Anyone else?
So I see someone's just put on the chat about, can I talk a bit more about protection?
And Sally, Sally's got a question. Can we just take Sally's question first?
Yeah, of course we can.
Hi, that was the one that Donna's just read. I popped it on to I realised I sent it to everybody. Sorry about that. But Donna, could you advise a little bit about protection? Because I realised that we are brighter beacons of light than we've been for years, and so that can attract things we don't want to. But at the same time, I don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about protection, because I don't want to bring in the need for protection, if you know what you get me. But we must look after ourselves.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. It's very important, because I used to be like that. I used to say, oh, I'm all right, I'm working for the light, I'm protected. And then I did have somebody actually put a really bad spell on me, and I ended up in intensive care. So it was quite a big thing. And so I learned about protection. So I do feel it's important. There's 2 types of protection we sort of need at the moment. And like Sally said, we don't want to be focusing on it. We don't want to be in fear of it. We know we're protected. But some people are being very affected by the electromagnetic pollution, like the 5G phone mass, the 4G phone mass, the internet router in your lounge. So that type of energy protection you need. Things like shungite crystal could be very good. If you find yourself getting really affected or headachy or drained or tired by electrical equipment and things like that, like negative, energy, things like shungite are good. Black tourmaline, especially with mica piece particles in it, very good for that. You can just put it by your router. If you've got the internet in your house, put the black tourmaline near your router. Even salt lamps can send out such a beautiful energy in the air. They change any negative. So if your electrical equipment send out all this like positively charged stuff, salt lamps will counterbalance that. So it's good to have it in your bedroom. So that's physical protection against things like, the electro pollution. And when you think about it, it's important to do that, because if while we're sitting here now talking, our Zoom meetings flying around all over the air, you can hear what I'm saying through these electrical airwaves or whatever. But there's hundreds of other people sitting there having conversations, not always talking positive, sending all their negative thoughts through the airwaves. So our little antenna is picking all that up as well, even though we're not consciously aware. So it's always good to visualize yourself when you're going to sleep. And this is for psychic protection and electrical protection. Visualize a pyramid around you, if possible, of blue light. But if you visualize a pyramid over the whole bed, so you lay in bed, I imagine my quilt is a rainbow of light as well. I do that every night. When we pull the quilt up, I imagine we're being shielded in light. Do it with my grandchildren, everybody. So we got and definitely try and visualize a pyramid. Pyramids are one of the strongest symbols for protection. So if you visualize yourself either in a pyramid or a Merkaba shape, which is like a 3-dimensional star, if you know what the Merkaba looks like, see yourself in a Merkaba. But even if you're in a supermarket queue, visualize you're surrounded by this pyramid of light protecting you. Now with psychic protection, which unfortunately I have noticed this quite a lot recently, which is very sad, but also where our timelines are all changing. Maybe in the old days, they used to put spells on you for eternity. It never was just for 10 minutes. It was always like, oh, I'll put this spell on you for eternity. What started happening 2 or 3 years ago, there's a lot of people, hundreds of people I'm talking about, were writing to me saying, I think I've had a spell put on me. I was chatting to another lady one day, Anne Jones, who's a lovely lady. She's a healer local to Dorset also. And she said she'd had the same sort of thing. And, you know, when I tuned into my guides, it said some of these spells are in this lifetime, because unfortunately people are mucking around with magic and don't understand what they're doing. But also some of it's from other timelines. So if you feel you might be psychically being drained or attacked, then 2 things straight away. Black obsidian, the old ones are always the good ones. Black obsidian crystal, wearing it, sleeping with it by your bedroom, wearing a bracelet of black obsidian. And if you do feel you might be psychically attacked or may have been in past timelines, if you get some cinnamon powder, just cinnamon like you get from the supermarket, if you can, it's better to get a cinnamon quill and bash it up. But if you can't do that, just get the powder and just put it in the shape of a crucifix over your heart chakra just for a few days. And I will put online, if on Facebook, if anyone wants me to, or if you message me privately, I can send it privately, but I know what I'm like, so it's probably best if I put it online. I'll put a protection symbol that you can draw in your aura every day, and it literally just rebounds any negativity or psychic sort of attacks or anything. So I'll put that on the Facebook thing, and you can find it on there if you'd like, or I can send it to Sheela, and actually then maybe Sheela can put it on the Lightworker lunch page, and then you can all get it from there. That might be easier, mightn't it, if that's okay with you, Sheela? And then you know, it's just, if you draw these symbols in your aura, you literally draw them in, it actually makes your aura work that way. It's like, what, you know, literally, even if you're not sure what you're doing, draw in lemniscate, an infinity symbol, like a figure of 8. Just literally draw it over your heart chakra for emotional flow, solar plexus to release anxiety. Just literally, you're drawing the infinity, and so you're letting your aura remember, I agreed to this, let me flow down my path. But psychic protection, and also try and visualize yourself in a cloak every day of protection. I mean, there is a lot more. If you feel you are being properly attacked, I have got loads of stuff written out that I send to people. You can always write to me. But really, the main thing is cinnamon over the chest. Obsidian is a good crystal for protection. Even amethyst is very good for spiritual protection. Just wearing a piece of amethyst or sleeping with it will spiritually build a shield of the violet flame around your aura. If you do believe someone's actually put any spells or curses on you, you can, or even if you think it might have happened 500 years ago, you know, you can literally say, I am willingly releasing any curses or hexes that have been sent to me. And as I say, either go and throw it in the river or something. But psychic, I feel energy protection is very important, and psychic protection especially. Because
okay, Donna, we have a question, I think, from Deb Sutton. Yeah, I don't know if it's along the same lines. Debs, would you like to ask your question?
Thank you. It's the cinnamon. Donna, I was writing down the notes. I didn't. How long? How often? I mean,
just literally for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a couple of weeks. Like you know, you literally only a tiny bit. And then obviously you have to wash off the day before, as you know, sort of thing. Otherwise you'd end up with a normal shower. But, you know, and then you wash that one away. And then next time you have a shower, you just rub on, say, body cream, and then tiny little crucifix with cinnamon for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It just dissolves and disintegrates any hooks.
Lovely. Thank you.
So it is important, but it's definitely important energetically at the moment as well. It never does any harm. The violet flame is the most powerful transformer of energy. So if you find anything difficult, just literally say, I am surrounded in the violet flame, and breathe in violet coloured light. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you so much, Donna. That's all right. Absolutely inspiring, hasn't it? I hope you've agreed. So can you join me in giving Donna a big virtual clap? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's amazing. Oh, yeah, cinnamon smells good, yeah. Yeah, it does smell good, doesn't it? Yeah. If you do have any more questions for Donna, we're not closing yet. So just keep a note of them, and we'll see if we can slot them in a bit later on. But now we have got a few people who have asked to do just a 2 or 3 5-minute maximum little talk about their promotions or what's coming up for them. And we thought this would be an ideal opportunity to sort of spread the word, spread through like-minded people. So I'm going to ask Vickie. Sorry? I just go and make myself a drink. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Of course.
Yeah, you deserve it. For
Just
sure.
mute myself.
And I'll just mute you. So if I could invite Vickie Tongman to talk about, I'm not quite sure what she's going to talk about, but I'm sure it's going to be inspirational and something that is wanting to be shared amongst us. So thank you, Vickie.
Thanks, Sheila. I'm just going to put us back on gallery view so I can see everybody. Unfortunately, Donna's not here, but I just found all of her tips really interesting and down to earth. And that's important for me because I'm a fairly recent arrival in the spiritual world. I came across Sheela in about 2012 when I sort of thought, oh, maybe I should learn something about meditation. And it's just been such an inspiring journey ever since. She was able to grab my logical mind, pull it to pieces a bit, and actually get me to understand some of the non-logical stuff that was going on in the world. So you know, huge thanks to Sheela and all the other earth angels that have been around pointing me in the right direction. So yeah, at the time when I met Sheela, I was kind of recovering from not really knowing who I was and feeling rather lost and so on, and learning from her things that I knew technically, like law of attraction and, you know, the general positive thinking ideas, but being taught rather than just reading really made a difference for me. And I also studied neuro-linguistic programming at the same time, which is a way of programming the mind into what you want to be true or releasing what you don't want to be around anymore. So I was running some workshops for people with who maybe weren't as abundant as they would have liked to be. So I was kind of giving life coaching to people who couldn't afford life coaching for some years in an organisation that I created, Life and Money Skills. And around 2016, 17, it became apparent that there wouldn't be funding for that anymore, sadly. But it really enjoyed working with people where I could make their lives feel better, using techniques around drawing, affirmations and positive thinking. And it was lovely that I was able to, where I started off just saying, well, draw these things and write your affirmations and that will work. And I had no idea why, to have learning over the years why these things do work and how we can program our mind and our subconscious to what we want to be true. So I took a rest from all of that, wrote a book called Daphne and the Smiley Shells to, again, make some of this information cheaply available to families and individuals, and moved on to being an NLP coach and recently Reiki practitioner. But I'm now kind of stepping back into the affirmation positive thinking role by running a workshop tomorrow, which will be obviously, as you know, the new moon, etc. I'm calling it Magic Mermaid Wishes, Dreams and Wishes, because it's so connected to the Piscean energy tomorrow as well with the new moon. And I'm going to be running a short workshop, sharing some of the information I used to with people who were less fortunate, but for anyone. And I just found at the time that there were people who were therapists or members of staff within the groups that I was working with, where, you know, sometimes things manifested really quickly for them, using the idea of pictures and information in a similar way, perhaps, to programming water, as was mentioned with Dr. Emoto. So yeah, so I feel I've come a little bit full circle, and I just really wanted to celebrate that, that I'm now able to kind of, you know, teach others online and share some of that information that used to work offline. If anyone knows anyone who might be interested in that workshop, then I'm sure Sheela will pop a link somewhere, or do just search for a workshop called Magic Mermaid Dreams and Wishes. And thank you very much for listening, and thank you all of you for all the work that you do to make the world a better place as well.
Thank you, Vickie. That was lovely. And it's always interesting to hear people's journey, isn't it? So well done, Vickie. Thank you very much. And we're going to go over to Sally Roberts. So I'll unmute Sally for the moment. I don't think we've met, Sally. I don't think you and I have met. So I'm really interested to hear what you're going to share with us this morning. So off you go. 5 minutes max.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, okay. Hi, everybody. I'm here because I met Jackie D in a group for women over the age of 50 called the Silver Tent, which I've been a member of now for 18 months. And there's a part in that which is called Silver Synergy, and that's for people who want to promote themselves. Look, I'm going to be 70 this year. I've been a physio for 43 years. And about 28 years ago, I trained as an NLP practitioner and became very passionate about mind into body, body into mind, and, you know, working both ways. Over time, that's morphed and changed and grown, and I went on to study thought pattern management, which I call thought pattern magic, and something called mental landscape. What I've discovered recently is that I've added the spiritual side of that because I'm a Divine Openings guide as well. And Divine Openings has changed my life over the last 8 or 9 years. And my passion is to help women step into their magnificence. And I think that my struggle has been to be grounded, to be earthed on this earth, because I can very easily fly off to other realms. And so I'm sure I did physio because I needed to work with the body and be grounded. So what I do now is I teach women about their mental landscape, because lots of people don't understand that we hold everything that's important to us, inside us or outside us, somewhere in our mental landscape. And that includes feelings, people, projects, animals, environments, places, memories. And when we can access those and find out whether they are working for us or not, we can then move them to somewhere that is more resourceful for us, or we can get rid of them altogether. So just to give you a very brief instance, I worked with a young man. He came to see me. He was very stuck. He said, I cannot keep a girl. I don't seem to be able to establish a relationship with any woman who will stay with me. And when we looked into it, I asked him where his mother was. And his mother was here. She was right in front of his face. And when I said to him, may I move your mother so that you can just see what it feels like without her here? And he said no, he wouldn't let me. And he was very cross with me because I said to him, well, while your mother is there, you will never keep another woman because it's just intimidating. So, and what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just, I've been running an offer. We can do this on Zoom. It is life-changing sometimes. And also it's very playful and can be very funny and quite fun because it's very enlightening. So my offer is that if anybody would like it, I will spend an hour or an hour and a half with you. I'm charging £50 for that hour, which is well, it's less than I would normally charge, put it that way. And anybody who would like to do it, please just, I don't have a website. I can put my email in the chat, and anybody who would like to contact me, please do. And thank you for the opportunity, Sheila.
Oh, thank you very much, Sally. Yes, do please put your email in the chat room, and then those that want it can pick it up from there. So thank you all very much. Let's give Sally a nice Lightworkers applause. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Good. This is great. So now we're going to, I can't see her, but Georgie Fox. Oh, there you are, Georgie. So if you could unmute yourself, just tap your screen and that's it, you found it. So off you go, 4 or 5 minutes. Thank you, Georgie.
Oh, thank you. And thank God. Thank God for this opportunity, and thank God for this precious moment. And I had got loads written down, and I thought, no, this is my opportunity actually to let go and let God speak here. And what I am putting out, what I'd like to share, is that I'm going to start a twice a month, first and third Thursday in the month at 3 o'clock, an hour or so, and it's called Share Only Love. And the idea that this is just an idea, the universe may well have other thoughts, is that it would be only sharing. And as Donna said, it's so important that we share the love without any interference or anything allowing any negativity to come in. So my idea was that we have an afternoon, we have this hour together, we prepare something to read that really, really talks to our heart, that we can share. Simply that. Simply that. And then we can take it in turns. If you don't want to speak, you don't have to speak. But it would be in that environment of pure, unconditional love. It's the only reason why we're together. There's no money involved. For the last 3 or 4 years, my journey brought me, I feel, to quite a conclusive, after many, many, many years on this journey. And Sheela knows I don't do anything. I don't put myself out to be anything. I'm just me. And I know that I am full of love. And I know that God has given me the most amazing unconditional journey this time. Yeah, there's been ups and downs, but it's brought me to this moment now. And the last couple of years, I did a Heart of Living yoga with, I don't know if you know, Reverend Padma's group. And then afterwards, I was brought to A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love, which I have studied, and I'd like to just share. And I read the lesson every morning. And this morning's lesson is lesson 71, which actually is the ultimate. You speak to anybody who does A Course of Love. And the lesson is, only God's plan for salvation will work. And it contains the famous, famous words that you say to somebody, Course in Miracles, they would say, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? And what would you have me say, and to whom? That's what the morning prayer is. So I'm not doing it. I'm saying, God, guide me. And I could sit and cry here now, because the ego mind, which is what the Course in Miracles actually allows us to see so clearly, is here as much as it likes, and if it's given free will. But the Course in Miracles allows us to see it for what it is. And then there's another book afterwards called A Course of Love. The Course of Love then takes us from here into our heart. And I'm losing it. That's so beautiful. I'm losing it. Okay. I've listened to Sheela and to Donna, and they've said, and they talk from spirit, and I think, he doesn't speak to me. And here in this moment, it's given that it doesn't matter. We have to talk to him. This is what the prayer is. This is what the Course in Miracles is saying. Just have that contact. Just have that. Donna said it. Ask, ask, ask. You know, I am a soul. I don't have a soul. I am a soul. And that's where I'm speaking to from here. And it's all so beautiful. And I would love, if you wanted to come first and Thursday in the month, if you'll allow me, Sheela, to send you the details. There is an attachment which gives more of the understanding of what would take place in the group. But I don't have a soul. Yes, exactly. I am a soul. I don't have a soul. I am a soul. It's the human. This is the ego's power. Oh, no, 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 no. You're a human. You're a human. You know, we are, and from A Course of Love, there's another young man, because the Course in Miracles and the Course of Love are channeled words from Jesus. They're from God. And when you do the book and you're working with it with your heart, you know that God is talking to you. And every single lesson, every single morning, I think, oh my God. And just also, and it's mentioned on the bump that I've done, some of the mystics, and we have some really wonderful mystics about at the moment. Father Thomas Keating, Cynthia Bourgeois, Richard Raw, they are messengers of God. They really are messengers of God, saying, wake up, you've got to mature, grow up, clean up, just get rid of this, because this does not do us any good. But the ego mind is playing a part. And I believe that eventually we take the ego mind and we put it in our heart and we say, bless you. Thank you for bringing me here in this moment. I think I finished. So I say thank you to each. Actually, can you tell me how many people are here? Because the universe is, I don't know what's been going on, but I could only get on through here. At the weekend, the universe has been taking away all my emails. And it's saying, you don't need them. You don't need any of this. Just come here. So I had to come on here because as I went to find your invitation today on my laptop, as I looked at it, it went.
Okay.
So it was saying to me, Georgie, you don't need that. Speak from the heart. Speak with love.
Indeed.
Speak as the soul that you are.
That's lovely, Georgie. And I think a lot of people will take away your quote there that you said, I don't have a soul, I am a soul. So thank you very, very much, Georgie, for sharing that. And I would ask you that, again, if you send me your information, I can post it out onto the Lightworkers page.
That would be so lovely.
And then
thank you so much.
you if you would like to. So thank you very much, Georgie. And let's give Georgie a lovely Lightworkers applause. Yay. Thank you very much. Fabulous. And just to sort of interrupt my flow, because we've got one more speaker, Jackie May. But I'm just mindful that in case anyone's got any burning questions that they want to ask Donna while we've still got Donna with us. If you have anything to ask Donna. The thing is, once you're offline, once we've gone, you'll think of 101 things that you wanted to ask her. But this is your opportunity right now. And if you're thinking it, trust me that someone else will also be thinking it. I think I saw a little finger go up from Vickie. So I'm going to unmute you, Vickie, and let you ask your question, please.
Yeah, it wasn't so much a question. I just wanted to thank you, Donna, because you left the room as I was about to speak, and I just felt like all of the really lovely down-to-earth information you shared would be really useful, not just for me, but the people that I work with, so who are perhaps not yet at our level. So it was like all of this amazing information tumbling out, and yeah, just thank you so much for that. On my behalf and for others.
Thank you, Vickie. Lovely. Did you want to reply to that, Donna? Are you all right? Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Vickie. I'm sure we all second that as well. So our final speaker is Jackie May. I can't quite see you on my. Oh, I just saw. There you go. Lovely. Okay, thank you, Jackie.
Well, thank you for having me here, and it's lovely to see people I know and a lot of new people. And Donna, thank you, that was fabulous. I loved that star meditation. I just got so into that, so I'm glad you did the full version because I absolutely loved that. And it's really inspiring to hear everybody else's talks and things you're all doing. It's brilliant. I'm going to talk a little bit about soul lightening acupressure, and it's lovely to be with a group who you can say the word soul and you don't have to think, I wonder how that's going to go down with them, because I know you're from Georgie's lovely comment. I know we're all on the same page with it. So you're all really familiar, I know, with the mind, body, emotions and soul combination, and how that can affect us in all sorts of ways. So often the physical health, we think it's a physical issue, but it can be from a mental thought we have, a mental landscape, as Sally was mentioning, or it can be a spiritual thing from a past timeline. It can be an emotion that we're holding that's trapped in the body, causing a physical issue. So it's difficult in a way to work with one of these without bringing in all the others. And that's how soul lightning acupressure came about in the first place. A lady in America, Dr. Amina Rahim, who I was lucky enough to meet and train with here in England, she came over and taught a few years ago now, but she is a transpersonal psychotherapist. She's now retired, she's in her 80s. And her journey was that she found she was helping lots of people with her work, but there was also a bit of a point where she couldn't help people because the emotion was trapped in the body. And she knew that some sort of body work was necessary to go with the work she was doing to release on all the different levels. She's very soul connected and soul based. She has a spiritual practice that she's used for all her life, really. So she already had that aspect to her work as well, with it being transpersonal. And she looked at all kinds of different ways of working with the body, and she came to acupressure, which is the acupuncture points, but using thumb and fingers, not the needles, thank goodness. She found a way of working very simply but very deeply with a sequence of acupuncture points using finger pressure that actually are they're designed, she's brilliant the way she's designed this, because they're designed to connect with the very most potent points, really, including some that connect with the extraordinary vessels of acupuncture. So they take us actually back to our soul coming into this incarnation, because they go right back. They're the first thing that forms in the womb, these vessels. And so it's simple to do, but it's very, very deep, and it can access all these different levels. Combined with that, she then went on to develop clinical acupressure, which is, again, it has a soul-based connection, but it's more to do with the physical side of things, certain releases to work with different symptoms, different body issues, all kinds of different things people may have trouble with. And it's quite accessible to people who perhaps are not so much on our level where you can say soul and everyone goes, oh yeah, you know. So it's a way of working that is can be just a practical physical way as well. And a lot of nurses in America are using it. Very, very effective. You can use it for self-care as well. And I met Amina in 1995. I've been doing this stuff quite a long time now. I trained as a practitioner, and I've recently now done my teacher training to be able to teach the foundation certificate level here in the UK, because it hasn't been taught here for a long time. And my dream was to get it back here. And Joe Sellers, who's here, knows the story, but it's a real sequence of sort of synchronicities, you could call it, that have taken me to being able to now offer these courses. I'm really excited about it. Then we had COVID. So just as I was finishing the training, ready to go, you suddenly couldn't go and touch people. All right, so now what? But the teachers in America have put together these amazing ways of working, they're calling them hybrid classes. So they're basically a lot of the information and the working on ourselves and the introduction to all of it is done through Zoom. And then when we can, which hopefully won't be too long now, we can meet in a safe way to do the body work with people and teach them that side of it. So it's kind of in a way, it's been a gift, because the foundation certificate is one side of it, and people can use that as soon as they've done it. You can incorporate it into your work. It's complete in itself in a way, but there are also lots of other levels of this work, which previously you would have had to go to America to do, and it's obviously pretty expensive to have to fly out there and do it in that way. Now, of course, you can do it on Zoom with myself as a backup here for the body work, doing that side of it with you. I'm really excited to say that we've got our first trainee has just passed her foundation certificate. I'm sure Jo Sellers won't mind me saying it's her daughter Lisa, which is fantastic. So she's ready to fly with the work now. So there will be these trainings coming up if anyone's interested. I'm going to be doing the process acupressure one first and then clinical acupressure. You can do one or both. But really the main way of finding out more, I'm doing free sessions of acupressure for self-care on Sunday afternoons at the moment. They're guided sessions, and it's something I wanted to do through lockdown because I know people need as much as we can get at the moment. And they're just simple. They're about 20 minutes to half an hour, and I guide people through doing the points on themselves for different things. There's one for stress. We've got this Sunday, we've got Savor for stress release, which is, again, it's part of the same work. It was developed after the 9/11 terrorist attack to treat people working at ground zero. And, oh, thank you, Jackie. She did it in 2011. Yeah, lovely. And I've got a respiratory release one on the 21st, and there'll be all sorts of other different things coming up. So if you're at all interested in it, get in touch. Is it? And I'll answer that one in a second. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, just get in touch. I'll put my email. I work through Joyous Isle. I expect some of you've come across. I know some of you've been on our courses. I run it with Jane Ashford. So I'm running these courses through that as well. So I'll put that email up for you. And yeah, it's been lovely to have the opportunity to share the work and with like-minded people who are going to know what I mean.
Oh, that's lovely, Jackie. Thank you so much. That sounds really interesting.
Thank you. Quick question there was is it like EFT or TFT or tapping? It works with the same point.
I'm going to have to, I'm sorry, I'm really, really sorry, but if I need to sort of cut you off here. If you
email
could,
me, Sally, and I'll answer you. I'm just
if you could perhaps put a bit of information, send it to me, and I will repost it onto the Lightworkers page, and anyone wanting to get in touch with you can do that. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much for you put your email in there. That's brilliant. So thank you very much, Jackie. That was really interesting. Can we give Jackie a Lightworkers applause? Thank you very much indeed. And a very long-standing friend, Amber, who has joined us. We have been trying to message you, Amber. If you've got 2 minutes, if you'd like to, just to sort of quickly share with us what it is that you would like to talk about. But we are running out of time, and we just need a few minutes to gather ourselves and say goodbye and thank you to Donna and so on and so on. So over to you for a couple of 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. I didn't realise. Did everybody else do that earlier then? Yeah. Oh, okay. Hi. Yes, I'm on the spot now. I just wanted to share that. Well, when I first moved down and met a lot of you initially, when I moved back out of London, I was kind of a bit not knowing which way I was going, but now it's all kind of coming together. It's all about conscious beauty, and that includes frequency work, that includes everything from color and light therapy that I do and everything else. But the thing I'm focusing on at the moment is conscious beauty photography. And basically, because I read energy as well, it's not something that I've completely gone blank now. It's not something that I'm not really a click and go kind of photographer, right? I need you to get into alignment. Hang on a sec, let myself get into alignment. I need you to get into alignment first, and I help by a lot of branding issues that can actually come up from a lot of marketing experience and everything else, but it's more just about tapping into you and your passions and what you do, and really allowing that to show through the photos. So I know we've all transitioned into doing a lot more online, and our photograph is actually quite, it's the first port of call in a lot of cases these days when we're not meeting people face to face. So if you need a new one, let me know. Yeah, but it's deeper than that. Beauty to me is actually, it's more of a principle. Beauty, the perspective of beauty is and I would like to invite you to just say, where is the beauty in that? You know, whatever that is to you, whatever issue you've got, whatever's going on, where is the beauty in that? Because it's always there, it's always to be found. And I'm not just talking about your own inner beauty, which I know you are all totally beautiful. I believe that, that's what I do. But it's that, where is the beauty in any situation, you know? And how can you then use that frequency to actually allow yourself to lift up and feel better about yourself and the world and your neighbors and everybody else? So that's the thing. And I hashtagged it as Whitbit. Where is the beauty in it? Where is the beauty in this? So yeah, hashtag Whitbit. Thank you, Sheela.
Oh, bless you. That was really good, and just about 2 minutes. So lots of information there. And again, Amber, I invite you to send me some information or a little précis of what you want to say, and I'll repost it on the Lightworkers page or on the event page so that everybody here can access it really easily. So thank you very much for that. Please, can we give Amber a little Lightworkers applause? Thank you very much. And this is really, I've really enjoyed this. I hope you guys have too.
Yeah, me too.
So I want to pass over to Jackie, so that in case she's got anything to say to everybody. Thank you, Jackie.
Have you ever known me not to have anything to say? It doesn't happen very often. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining in. Some of you would have met each other for the first time, and just encourage you to connect and engage. And for me, I've got several projects going on right now. I've got my JED talk, so if anyone would like a little interview to promote themselves, it's normally £20, but I think what I'll do to offer it to anybody in this group today for 10. So if you'd like a 20-minute interview with me, and then it goes across all platforms. I've interviewed Sheela, haven't I, Sheela? We've had a little session together, and Sally Roberts. So I love doing it, and it gets you a little bit of promotion for yourselves. The Web of Wonder I'm also doing now, which is about a love circle. You can have a look at that. So there's JED Talks, Web of Wonder, and my micro frequency machine, which is this little thing here, working with microcurrent frequencies. Sally's got hers on as well, and Amber. If you want to know more about that, it's a fab tool that I'm using with various things. And yeah, and just generally joining in, showing up, saying yes, and moving on with life, and moving into our new way of being, which is developing. We're creating it collectively, and fabulous to see. So I want to add my thanks to Donna for sharing her wisdom. Thank you, Donna. And Sheela for when we had our interview, you mentioned it and I said yes, and here we are. So yeah, thank you to you too. And Sheela does excellent quiz nights.
This is the first Lightworkers lunch for many years that there's been a co-host, so it's been a delight, because you've been constructive in getting it together as well. And so again, it remains for me to give Donna a huge thank you. We wouldn't all be here without Donna, so thank you very much, Donna. In fact, let's unmute and make a holy racket, because it'll sound awful, but just unmute yourselves and let's all just clap Donna.
Hooray! Hooray!
It just sounds awful when Zoom is trying to sort out multiple people, but hey, it doesn't matter. For me, my little spiel is anyone who is wanting to meditate regularly. I run a meditation group online, have done for the last year, but prior to that it's been 25 years. But we've all learned how to use this electronic thing called Zoom, and we're all so good at it, aren't we? Apart from the chat, Jackie. So do join us on a Tuesday evening at 7:30 for meditation and development. I also do inner child workshops, Write from Your Heart workshops, and Law of Attraction workshops, all online, all reasonably priced and scattered around during your week. So thank you all very much. It's time to sign off. Lots of love to Donna, lots of love to all of you, and to all of our speakers, and to Jackie, my co-host. Thank you all very much. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Sheela.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Lovely.
you.